All right, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Greene, please like and share this video. I did an earlier video on the crypto market, all pumping, by the way. Huge 5x freaking gain, man, in Ajax. I think it's just getting started too, by the way. Very few of you actually know about Hanson Robotics and, of course, the singularity and where everything's headed with robotic tech, AI. I mean, we see this with ChatGPT. In fact, I recommended this before that launch, before it came out to the public with its latest version. And I highly encourage you to learn about this stuff because it really is pre-internet. It's before everything else that we have come to know over the last decade or so with social media, e-commerce, the Jeff Bezoses of the world, and everybody else. And it really is the future. Blockchain tech, cryptocurrency, it is the new technology platform framework that is going to govern much of the financial system itself in the reset especially. I probably even should have kind of titled it around that in this video today because I want to talk about this inevitability, of course, of the singularity reset into the new system of CBDCs, which I've been warning about for a very long time. This is why it's a guarantee, in my opinion, not financial advice, you'll get rich in cryptocurrency because very few other people actually know this. They don't understand that they're never going to pay the debt back, that the only thing that we can count on is endless debt, endless bailouts, the 31 trillion to rise much, much higher, and of course bailouts into infinity. That's basically what America stands for, too big to fail bailouts, corruption, criminality, I believe, the highest law of the land, central bank, and their crimes, and of course bailing out the too big to fails in 2008-09 on your dime. And of course they did this again, like and share 1000x, recently in 2020 with the PPP loans. Absolutely destroyed people's lives, shut down American small businesses, bankrupted the little guy, destroyed the middle class, wiped everybody out with a bunch of fear mongering and a bunch of BS. And I could say even more harsher words than that. Screwed you and then gave it all to the too big to fails, all of the oligarchs, and gave them this Orwellian power. Now these companies are faceless entities that can basically just send you an email and update you on their terms of service. And you have no rights, you have no say, there's no manager to talk to. There's like America is completely gone from what it used to be. You used to pull up to a gas station, there'd be like 4 dudes that would greet you with a smile. They'd wash your window. I even remember this as a kid. They'd wash my mom's window out front. Hi, really great to see you again, guys. Give the kids suckers in the back seat. Give us a high five or a fist pump or whatever. I mean, that's gone. That's gone. Maybe in some small towns of America, if they're still alive, if they haven't been bankrupted, by the new system. So let's talk about this because House Republicans are preparing for an emergency plan for breaching the debt limit. Republicans and Democrats share this, guys, are both responsible for this, by the way. So it's not just one political party I'm blaming. Trump blew up the debt exponentially. Biden's continued to blow up the debt exponentially. Obama has continued to blow up the debt exponentially. So this is like not a specific party issue. This is an American issue. This is a politician issue. This is a system issue, which is defunct, bankrupt, rotten to the very core. And it's why it's doomed to fail. And that's why we have too big to fails. And that's why we're currently failing. Not you tuning in because I'm 1000xing all of you, of course, with everything we're doing. But it's why America is failing. And they're going to reset and transfer everybody into the new system because there's nothing else to do, guys. There's nothing else to do but to break the old paradigm, change the rules, bankrupt the middle class further, and then, of course, give it to all their oligarch buddies that are paying off the politicians and the lobbyists. So let's go to this article because we're about to breach the debt limit of 31 trillion. It says House Republicans are preparing a plan telling the Treasury Department what to do if Congress and the White House don't agree to lift the nation's debt limit later this year. Underscoring the brinkmanship newly empowered conservatives will bring to the high-stakes negotiations over averting a U.S. default. Now, we've seen this many times before, but it's different this time because they're legitimately going to reset the system. Hyperinflation is rampant. Hyperinflation is a guarantee. Prices of everything are continuing to go up. They have not stopped. Okay, I've told you guys this too. There's going to be a pause. People think that prices are going to come down, but they're not. They're going to continue to skyrocket, wipe everybody out into infinity. And this is what they want. So, of course, that they can entrench you in this feudal digital servitude. Okay, they want you a digital feudal slave. Okay, so they can put their big shoe right on your face and slam it into the dirt so you're coughing up dirt and rocks. And then they're going to give you the UBI once you've completely suffered the loss of everything that you once knew about Americana and liberty. I mean, this is the truth, and I've always told you guys the truth. So it says Republicans are getting involved in this, of course. Democrats as well. It says their emerging contingency plan for this emergency shows how Republicans are preparing to threaten not just to lift the nation's debt ceiling without major spending cuts from the Biden administration. So what have I told you? They're always going to spend more money. They're never going to pay back the debt. You can count on that. You can count on more money printing, which means you can count on more monetization, which means you can count on more inflation. And this is why you've got to get into real assets, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you've got to get in to high quality assets like Island Project, for example, which is the best of class real estate in the world. It's going to go up 10x just at the core portfolio. It's going to go up 1,000x, of course, once I tokenize and I launch our blockchain worldwide, because it's the best asset in the world. It's Maui Booyah. And you just can't put your money any place that's better than that. I mean, even if you're not joining us, and I would say go out and buy as much property as you can. What's different about us, though, of course, you can buy fractionally at just $30K minimum, which opens up an opportunity to own beach, oceanfront, vacation zone rentals, high cash flow properties, and it's being tokenized with no debt in addition to that, because I've warned, of course, of the debt crisis and the capital controls and the economic financial collapse, which I believe is coming. So it really is, and I've said this before, it's a Robin Hood type event. So it says Congress must pass a law raising the current limit of $31.4 trillion, or the Treasury Department can't borrow anymore. Oh, whoopity-doo-dah. Even to pay for spending lawmakers have already authorized. Economists warn that not raising the debt limit could cause the United States to default. We're already in a default, and you need to understand this. We're already in an economic collapse. America is finished. It's completely insolvent and bankrupt, and it's also morally, ethically bankrupt. So it's not just a financial collapse. It's an ethical, moral death by 1,000 cuts. Most of the politicians we can't trust. There are some good ones out there, so not everybody's bad. There are good people like you and me out there, I think, trying to do good things. But the problem is there's so much corruption, and so much of DC has sold out completely to the large oligarchical monopolistic companies that have been allowed to run rampant with any kind of intervention. It really is crazy to think about it, that companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, the military-industrial complex, all the centralized companies now have basically gone free reign of anything that they want to do. There's no monopoly, they never look at that. Just like Standard Oil and Big Oil got broken up because they're total freaking monopolies, all these companies have been allowed to run rampant. And the main reason is of the corruption, because politicians are getting paid off, and it's why I'll never become a politician. I'd much rather be a man of the people. I'd much rather be in service, 1,000x to you tuning in, and I'd much rather be, honestly, the digital Robin Hood, making all of you rich in a number of ways, not just money, but spiritually, which is most important to me. So that would be the number one thing to 1,000x your spiritual life to the moon, of course, with King Jesus. So they've got to raise a $31.4 trillion debt. They're going to do that. I mean, not probably. We know they're going to do that. So count on more inflation. Count on it getting much, much worse. So we've also had Jamie Dimon, who hosed all of Americans with all those bailouts in 2009. He also became a billionaire during the PPP loans. How convenient, huh? He became a billionaire during all the lockdowns, because that was very beneficial for the rich. My portfolio sailed to the moon as well. I mean, honestly. The rich will always get richer. That's why you should buy Island Project, because if you get in, you're getting in with the rich and you're going to make money. Because life's completely unfair. The whole system is corrupt and crooked. And this is what you guys need to understand. I mean, it's like largely like the most crooked. I would say we're worse than any third world country here in the United States of America. Probably worse than that. So once you understand these truths, same thing with Trump. He's like, I don't pay taxes because I'm smart. Okay? And people applauded that, which I agree with. Like, you just have to understand everything you've been sold is a lie. America is the most corrupt, destitute, flailing state, which has now become a totalitarian Orwellian police state of constant 24/7 surveillance, cameras everywhere, loss of liberty. They're tracking now your license plates in California. They can geolocate you criminally. They're actually tracking and tracing you on your cell phones. That's all illegal, by the way, and totally anti-constitutional, but also illegal. They told you that was a conspiracy theory. Now everyone in the world knows that to be a truth and a hardcore fact. So all of your rights, all of your liberty, everything that we once stood for, the founding fathers, the Paul Reveres out there warning of America, and all this happening, moving into the totalitarian social credit score system, is now here live and operational. Okay, and by 2030, all will be lost unless you guys build new systems. So I'm trying to motivate you guys as well. It's not like all bad, but this is the opportunity to build a new America and create the roadmap and the on-ramp, I always say, to 1000X to create freedom and liberty and new ecosystems like the Island Project itself. By the way, I'm going to be doing updates for both islandprojectclub.com and also bitcoinrich.com. So whether or not you want to get into both of those, you should. You get into islandprojectclub.com. I'll put a link in a moment. You can also get into bitcoinrich.com. And by the way, I put a promo code, which I haven't done in like a year, okay, where you can get in now for $200 on the annual, and you save $200 with the promo code. So you can get in there. I'm going to be doing major updates for all of these tokens and also the coins that I see and what I'm doing, like my exit points and how I'm still accumulating a lot really in the AI space. So of course, Ajax is up over 5 times just in the last couple of days. I recommended it late July. I think it was July, 27th or something like that, if I remember correctly. It's already done a 5X. I think it's going to go much higher along with other parts of that ecosystem. Okay, so they're just one. There's a lot more, and a lot of you are missing this. So again, I always say too, like with my first videos at school, which I teach you the fundamentals, as long as you don't use debt, you have a diversified portfolio and you wait towards the large market caps, and then you hodl and you stick to your game plan at a long enough time horizon, you're going to make money. Okay, because you're in the number 1 asset class in the world over the next decade. Just like if you got in on Google stock, even if you had rode the dip down, you became a multi-millionaire. Amazon stock, of course, went down 80-90% in its crash in the dot-com bust. Nobody wanted to invest in tech. I actually sold Google's IPO, by the way. It was a Dutch auction, not an IPO, but I sold that Dutch auction to private investors when I used to work for Merrill Lynch. It was actually one of my top offerings that I had made. I only had a certain lot to sell, and only very few people bought it, actually. They're extremely wealthy today, by the way. That's where I kind of learned my first life lesson, too, that people won't always understand the new tech until it's too late. So a lot of those people that refused buying Google at its Dutch auction when I had that private offering later bought it after it 1000X'd. And they still made money. It's kind of like just like Warren Buffett bought Apple computers only when it went to $1 trillion in market cap. And of course, the first world's trillionaire is going to be in the crypto space. Who knows? Maybe that could be you. Maybe it could be me. I think we're going to see record gains in the next 12 months. So what we're seeing is unprecedented. The economic financial collapse, this war for the hearts and minds of men is unprecedented. So I don't want you to get too frustrated with what's going on. I want you to understand the truth, and I want you to position. If you're smart enough to understand what comes next and take advantage of these scenarios for yourself, but more importantly, build solutions, become solution-oriented to solve the problems of the world so we can fix it in service to others and actually do big, bad, bold things. I believe ultimately, spiritually for Christ, to give people tools to allow people to survive an economic collapse and massive oppression, which I think is going to get worse. Of course, UBI and a complete eradication of the middle class, destruction of liberty, and more importantly, humanity. Because as they merge human beings genetically with robots into this new AI warfare type system, they're going to phase out Homo sapiens, basically, okay, so that they turn cyborg alien in form. Okay, that's why I've told you it's like an alien takeover, right? It's the invisible enemy, what Trump said. Well, I said this too. It's an invisible takeover. And this is what people don't understand, that all these increments then lead to the technological invention and then ultimately the revolution. So anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts, comments, questions in this video today. Please like and share with 1000X. Links below, islandprojectclub.com, islandprojectclub.com. You want to get in that because you get the early bird access to our roadmap of my, blockchain launch of the Island Project, what we're building with my team. Okay, so you get that. If you want to start a little bit smaller, go with bitcoinrich.com and enter the promo code Island Project for $200. That way, at the very least, you're getting in somewhere. You can get the education you need to build these portfolios in the accumulation phase as we go to the moon. You can learn about exchanges, the ones to avoid, common mistakes, how to private wallet, what my portfolio is, what I would recommend, not financial advice, buying, how to wait to certain tokens and cryptos, and then get revealed all of my AI picks and everything I'm doing in the technology space right now and a whole heck of a lot more. So anyways, guys, I love you. God bless. Jesus Christ is King. I'm traveling this week, so I'll be all over the place and a lot of craziness. It's going to be freaking incredible, and we're going to have a really great time. Of course, is the 14th of January, 2023. God bless, and please like it and share it around the world. in the link below down here or up here, or just go directly to bitcoinrich.com. That's bitcoinrich.com. Think and grow bitcoinrich.com. That's bitcoinrich.com. That was for connect to the moon and beyond.